we are about to take the ADHD test, and let's see if we have it.
What is up, everyone? It's me with ADHD, and today we're going to try and figure out whether or not you have ADHD. So let's get right into that. But before we do that, make sure that you've subscribed, click that bell icon, stay up to date with all of my new content. All right, moving on. So a lot of the time I get very similar questions from you guys. They normally range from things like, I have this symptom, does that mean I have ADHD? Or is this a symptom of ADHD? Or how can I tell if I have ADHD? Well, to be honest, I try to get to every single person who asks me these questions, but it got me thinking.
I don't care about that.
Is an impairment in the brain that affects the...
Alright, we know what it is. Let me just...
Oh, and while all of us can't remember being 12 years old, that's okay. You can show these symptoms into adulthood and as early as you can possibly remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 10 questions to quiz you and see if you fit the criteria for ADHD. Then you can go see a doctor about it. All right, question number 1. Do you have trouble starting projects? And I mean like actually starting the project, not all of the prior planning and all of the creative thinking and all that, because we do really well at that stuff. I'm talking about when it actually comes down to it, to pulling the trigger and actually starting the project. Is that where you have the trouble?
I feel like I start the projects, but I just lose interest in them quickly. So whether I'm not pulling the trigger enough, maybe. I feel like I'm a semi-yes on this one.
Question number 2. Do you have poor attention to detail? So when you do finally start working on that project, do you find yourself making a lot of little mistakes that you just brush over while you're just kind of smashing your way through it as fast as possible?
No, I mean, I pay pretty close attention to something if I'm doing it to my full ability, but how often am I doing that? I mean, sometimes it is easier just to fucking cheap your way out and kind of, I don't know, just get it done.
Do you skim read everything? Do you ignore instructions? Do you make silly mistakes because you're constantly not paying full attention to what you're doing? Question number 3, are you easily distracted? Like, easily distracted. When you finally do a task, do you find that you become bored really quickly and just distracted by anything around you? This isn't just for tasks, this goes for like conversations too. Do you find yourself zoning out of a conversation really easily and find it really hard to focus exactly on what people are saying to you? Do you find that you didn't even listen to what they said to you when they spoke to you? You're just looking at their mouth moving. Question number 4.
Okay, yeah, that happens, definitely. I think a lot of people are boring as fuck, though, and what they have to say is just stupid and not even worth listening to. So I think that applies, but I think I'm another yes. I may be 3 for 3 here. This is not good.
4. When you do focus, do you hyperfocus? So hyperfocus is practically Super Saiyan focus. This is where you become so intently focused on a task that you forget every single thing around you, you lose your concept of time, and you can go for hours and hours on something without even needing to go to the bathroom or sometimes even eat. Question number 5.
Hyperfocus. No, I don't think I do that. I think I focus and I can focus hard on something, but I'm usually distracting myself or listening to something or listening to the radio, and maybe that keeps me out of the hyperfocus. I mean, if I'm working out and I'm having a great workout, maybe I'm hyper focused, but I think I'm a no on question 4.
Do you have bad time management? Now, this is a rather loaded question, but breaking it down, do you have trouble making deadlines? Do you have trouble making it on time to things, even though you try and you think you're going to be on time? Do you have trouble with time in relation to a task's length? And what I mean by that is, do you think that things are going to take way less time than they actually do take? And do you repeat this as well? Do you still make the same mistake on the length of a task, even though in the past it's taken longer? Question number 6.
Time management. I show up late to a lot of things, but that's just usually because I just don't give a fuck. And I don't usually assume things will go quicker. Maybe I do. Very impatient, I'd say, myself. And that brings a lot of just unwarranted stress into my own life. So I'm trying to work on that. And make sure that the time is right to do certain things. But, I mean, I definitely waste a lot of time. I think that goes into time management. So I'm probably pretty bad with time management right now. I think I used to be better, but I don't know. I think I'm probably pretty bad though. When I'm feeling motivated, I'm good, but if I'm feeling unmotivated or undriven, yeah, bad.
Are you disorganized? Do you feel like everything is such an incredible rush in your life that it's almost impossible to keep everything organized? Do you use the phrase organized chaos a lot? Do your tasks at work become disorganized? Meaning, do you have trouble prioritizing which task is most important and which one to do at certain times? Question number 7.
So I don't have a problem with organizing tasks. I'd say I organize them intelligently on what should get done first, or if something needs to get done to do something else. But organization could definitely be a little more organized, I would say, in my life. I think a lot of people could do that though, but yeah, definitely could have a cleaner truck, cleaner house type of thing. Sometimes things just get away from you.
Do you have trouble with your emotions? This one has a number of different things to it. Do you feel like your emotions are exaggerated in comparison to other people? Like, do you feel like you're quick to anger or sadness or boredom? Do you have a poor self-image? And do you have trouble letting go of negative emotions or what other people might think of you? When something pops into your head that you really want to do you find yourself getting frustrated that you can't do that thing immediately or you have to wait to do it? Question number 8.
Wow, yeah, that one hit home, definitely. Definitely hate having to wait. Definitely want to do things as soon as possible when I think of them. Can be short-tempered with certain things that just trigger a response. But I view that as a good thing. It's a good thing that if something's bothering you, you tell someone that it is. I think that's just part of being upfront and honest. But definitely, yeah, experience all that other stuff that he talked about.
Are you impulsive? Piggybacking off the last question, do you find yourself wanting to do something immediately right after you think about doing it? For instance, when you think about something you might need, do you jump on Amazon right away and have to purchase it right there in that moment? Do you find that there are people in your life that are constantly having to put the brakes on you? Do you also find that in the middle of conversations, something will just pop into your head and you literally have to say it? You can't even wait until that person's finished talking until you say what you need to say. Question number 9.
Yeah, I'm not very impulsive myself, especially with shopping, things like that. Certain things can be impulsive behaviors, like eating unhealthy foods and Um, Having sex is pretty impulsive for me. If I have a girlfriend, I like to do it as often as possible. Uh, I think that's just normal though. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Are you forgetful? This one applies more to your short-term working memory than it does your long-term memory. Do you have trouble remembering things that you were literally just told? Things like people's names or the instructions to a task that you're doing? Do you have trouble remembering really simple things that other people just, it comes naturally to them? And question number 10.
so I have a good memory. I definitely remember the things that I want to remember, and the things that I don't, I let slip through because I just don't care. Um, which I think that goes for everyone. I mean, if you care about something, you're obviously going to try to remember it. And if you don't care about it, why are you going to waste the brain space on it, you know?
And do you have trouble shutting off your brain? Is your brain constantly running at 1,000 miles a minute? Do you have trouble winding down and sleeping because of all of the thoughts that are running through your head all at once? Do you find it hard to write down ideas for things because every time you start to write it down, you come up with different ideas and other things and you write those down and then eventually you end up with a whole mess of not fully fleshed out ideas? So if you said yes to all of these things or almost all of these things, the chances are you have ADHD. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you.
Well, that's all I need to know here. I'm convinced I have it. No, I think the phone has really increased ADHD in myself, particularly. I can't speak for everyone. I'd like to think it is for everyone, but it's so easy to flip from app to app and what's going on in this one. Oh, actually, I want to see what's going on in this one. I'll turn on a YouTube video. I won't even get to the video before I switch to another app because the ad's playing. Definitely that type of thing. Or like a text comes in and you instantly look at the text. I think the phone is really leading to a lot of ADHD. If I'm focused on a project though, or I'm at work, like I'm not really distracted like that. But interesting. Well, I did a lot worse on this than I did the dyslexia test. Not good.